A more functional shower can be completed in just one day. Montgomery Showers, local quality value, montgomeryshowers.com.
Summer is for camp at Reflection Riding. Register your child today.
Nobody wants to be injured in a car accident or even have a car accident, much less be injured in one, but they happen nonetheless. Jeff Dean is here. He has Morris and Dean, personal injury attorneys in Dalton, Georgia. Good to see you.
Good morning.
And thank you for wearing your Georgia tie. One Dogs fan to another, right?
That's right. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. So good to see you this morning. It's interesting timing for me because I had a conversation with my older daughter yesterday. And she said, Mom, you know how you've been saying that you feel like traffic around here is just crazy? I did a little bit of research. That's my daughter. But she found that there have been like, I don't know, 15,000 more traffic fatalities nationally than there were even 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I bring up that sad statistic because it does seem like it's increasingly dangerous to drive around here.
It is, and that's a phenomenon that is happening in mostly the larger cities around the country, and Atlanta and Chattanooga are certainly no exception.
Well, it feels like we get impatient, and there's a lot of road construction around, and people will want to zip through, or they're on their phones, and you're driving safely, but the person next to you might not be. So if you have a car accident, you want to make sure you're prepared, and that's where you come with some tips this morning.
That's right. That's right. The first thing I would tell anyone is to check your insurance policy and make sure you have as much coverage as you can afford.
Is there a general ballpark of what that should look like ideally?
Well, you want to make sure you have at least some. I can't tell you how many cases I have in my office right now where people have suffered a catastrophic injury from a collision, and the person that hit them only has $25,000 worth of coverage. Of course, one trip to the emergency room can cost you that much. So if you don't have any coverage, that 25 is all you can get, and sometimes that's not nearly enough.
Can we pause on that one for just 1 second? Because so the uninsured motorist coverage will cover you in the event that somebody hits you and they don't have proper coverage.
Right.
You also, don't you want to make sure you've got enough protection on your policy so that if you cause the accident, your insurance can pay for it and not have them come after your own personal assets?
That's right. That's right. A lot of people don't realize that if you don't have enough insurance and you hit someone else, that if someone does have coverage and your own insurance company kicks in to cover medical bills or pain and suffering, then that other insurance company can come back after you and attack your personal assets or whatever for the damage that you caused if you don't have enough coverage.
Okay, so back to your phrase of as much as you can afford.
Yes.
Is that rate going to be based on your driving record, your age, anything like that?
All of those
Okay.
factors. And car insurance is expensive.
It is.
And so I understand when people don't have it because they just can't afford it. But if you look at it, usually coverage is only a few dollars a month extra. And it is a very well worth it expense.
So we've all seen in the movies where someone's in the hospital after an accident of some sort, and the attorney knocks on the door and says, hey, let me help you. I think I can make you some money off of this. That is a big no-no. You say don't do that.
That is a big no-no. That is a classic ambulance chaser, and the bar rules of most states prohibit direct solicitation of clients. They don't want people barging into your hospital room, you've just been in a tragic accident and the phone rings and you don't know where this call's coming from, but it's actually either a lawyer or somebody else on behalf of a lawyer trying to get your case. And that tells you, number one, that person is desperate for your case. They should never be calling you directly. And they're also unethical. So you don't really want somebody unethical handling your case.
Right. So the things to watch for are either like literally coming to see you, a phone call, mailing. Is that prohibited too, or is mailing okay?
Mailing is a little less intrusive.
Okay.
While we don't do that, I don't think that's nearly as bad. At least you have a choice to ignore the mail.
The other thing that you say to watch for is how much of a percentage they're going to take as their fee.
Oh, yes, yes. Most reputable law firms are only going to charge you around 1/3 of your case, especially if it is a regular car wreck or a common type collision. Most of what we see are rear end collisions. You're talking about the traffic in Chattanooga. When you're stopped in traffic, a lot of times those people who are looking at their cell phone or doing something else are not going to see the traffic and not see that you're stopped. But you should never pay 40% unless it's a more complicated case, if it's a premises liability, if it's for some reason contested liability, like you can't tell whether it's your fault or somebody else's fault. But 40% is way too much for a common car wreck case.
Now, with you, we've been talking Georgia and Tennessee. There
Yes.
you are down in Dalton. If somebody's
Yes.
watching and their accident happens to take place in Tennessee, can they still use you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're licensed in Georgia and Tennessee.
All right, then here is where you will find him. No matter which SEC team you root for, he'll be rooting for you. Morris and Dean, his name is Jeff Dean. They're down on Dug Gap Road in Dalton. 706-222-3790 is their phone number. Find out more about them online at morrisanddean.com. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Ascension